What's up, everybody? It is Ty the Football Guy with Trophy Sports Betting Discord, and we have football again this weekend. Thank God we have football. It was a pretty good weekend last weekend, but now we actually get to have a little bit of data behind these teams, a little bit of analytics, and we get to have a better understanding as to what these teams can do. So last week was all right. There was a few things I want to complain about. First of all, in the one game, the stats. Where essentially if it goes out at the 1, they move it to the 20, or like wherever they put it. Wherever it goes out, they're trying to encourage returns. So to do that, they are moving it to the 20. So what, punters are useless, it's pointless, I don't know, ridiculous, really annoyed me. The Stallions on a haul all the way together. Go from the three-peat, they bring back Alex McGough, who won 2 championships with them in the USFL, was MVP, went to the NFL, played with the Packers. Actually, last year, with all the injuries that happened to the Packers, had another injury occurred, he would have been stepping out there on the field to play wide receiver. He's back to playing quarterback here in the UFL. They looked terrible. I think he went 0 for 9 in the second half. Disgusting work, honestly. Disgusting work. But I digress. Let's get into it. And don't forget, if you're not part of Trophy Sports Betting Discord, get in there. Use code TY for 25% off your first month. And win with the team. We got some real dudes. We got Steez, Ito, Sports Laydown, Coach's Desk, Jay Vandy, Jort, Feezy with UFC. We got Prez on the ice. We got me versus Spread with tennis. There are a bunch of dudes on this team that are putting in work every single day to help our members win money. Make sure you get in there. I'm not going to tell you guys what my top plays are. I'll give you the one for tonight. But the rest of the weekend, it's up to you guys to kind of look through this and maybe see what I like, what I don't like. What's nice is ESPN Bet puts up the player props early. So we're able to get those early, unlike last week where for 2 games we were left in the dark. But let's just get into it. Let's just go over last week. All right, so we got the Week 1 recap here. Let me do it right here. Week 1 recap for the UFL. The Houston-St. Louis game, we looked good. Under 39.5. What I tell you, every single game, if we can, we're going to bet the under. And it would have been 4-0 if it wasn't for the Renegades game there at the end. But with that last-second field goal that meant nothing, didn't need it, but killed our under. Doesn't matter. Just the player props killed us also, which I knew it would be a little bit dicey going into it because you don't know how teams are going to look with some new players, some new schemes. You just don't know how they're going to look, but it is what it is. The player props were a little rough, but they'll work themselves out. The main plays, as far as the unders and the spreads, we did really well up until the Stallions game, which we'll get into. But Houston versus St. Louis, under 39.5, really wasn't even a sweat. Justin Hall over 50.5. I think he finished with like 40. Had an opportunity to get it, but they just could not get him the ball. Anthony Brown, hand up. Terrible pick. The guy got terrible pick. All right. Guy gets benched. One of the worst performances I may have seen in spring football from a quarterback that was given the nod to be the starter. Again, last week, I thought it was going to be Max Duggan. Turns out Anthony Brown gets thrown out there. Not Max Duggan. I guess Anthony Brown was going to be the guy. Just no good. Not good at all. Crazy, went from +3 to +1 prior to kickoff. I told you if it didn't go up to 3.5, just take Renegades money line. Sure enough, that cashed. Sal Cannella finished with 46. We needed 2 yards from him. Disgusting beat. The touchdown, we just sprinkled that a little bit. The under, again, like I said, did not cash because of a pointless, meaningless field goal that occurred there at the end. Panthers money line and the Panthers under 38.5. That was a little sweaty because Showboats had an opportunity there to come back and threw a pick to kind of Kua, Puka's brother. They bring it back for a pick six. And then Stallions, disgusting work. I mean, I told you guys to take these guys every which way you could think of. And, I'm glad that the books didn't allow me to take it every which way because they were bad. The offensive line is terrible. It just looked so bad. I don't even know what I'm going to not think too much about week one's game, but it's hard not to. They looked terrible. You're up. They get they give them the ball back. The DC defenders give them the ball back right before the end of the half, and then they just go off and running. Disgusting work. Alex Magoo just could not do anything with the ball. Now he used his legs, which is what the Stallions do. So, is what it is. We move on. Week one record goes 6-6. The units are plus 1.45. We're going to have a much better weekend this weekend. I promise you. I feel much better with the player props, which if we didn't even put those out there, you're looking at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 bets gone. So you're talking about a, 6-2 record? Or 6-2. Player props. Got too greedy. But let's get to it. Let me just add myself to the stage here. All right, so let's get into it. Week one, we are going to be dealing with, the game is tonight at 8 p.m. Birmingham Stallions at Michigan Panthers. It opened up the Stallions at -2.5. It is now with them as the dogs. So do we think that is just the public overthinking what occurred last week, or do we think that they think that the Michigan Panthers can actually beat them? I don't know. So here's what I'm going to try not to do. I'm not going to look too much into last week, although I am going to make note of what occurred last week. The Panthers played nobody. All right, they just didn't. They played the Showboats. They beat the hell out of them. The Showboats, I'm not even sure why they're here. It's just they trot out just a bad team year in, year out, week to week. It's bad. So Birmingham obviously lost last week to the DC Defenders. Alex Magoo had an atrocious game with 89 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. Held on the ball a ton, but the offensive line was leaky. I mean, bad. They gave up 8 sacks, which is just crazy. And he only had 10 completed passes. But the dude can run. The dude's got legs like a gazelle, and I love that because guess what? The book's giving us a line at 39.5 rush yards. You know where we're going there. You know where we're going. If an offensive line is bad, if it truly is bad, you have to trust a quarterback that has the ability to move, to use those legs, to extend plays, to move the ball down the field, to pick up first downs. At 39.5, yeah, come on. I'm taking that all day long. All right? The running backs had a combined for 38 yards for them. They could not get anything going. Jay Sternberger, nowhere to be found, 0 receptions. And the leading receiver was Deion Jackson, 2 receptions and 28 yards. You want to talk about disgusting work by this team, disgusting work. Now, I took them so heavily because I have not seen them have one of those like slumps, right, where they win the championship and they come out week 1 and they look flat. Haven't seen it, not to this extent. This was bad. So, week 2, I trust that Skip Holtz can get this team right. Now, if we're taking a side, I'm going to say take Stallions +1, but you're going to go light on this, 0.5. Why? Why go heavy on it? That's where I would lean. Again, Michigan, Bryce Perkins looked like the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion, over the weekend. But they can't get out of their own way. Like, Bryce Perkins looks good, but then they throw in Danny Etling, and it's like, why? Why do that? It doesn't make any sense to me. He went 4 for 60, while Perkins was 63 yards and a touchdown. The running back room did the exact same, with splitting between Colburn and McCrary. The play I gave out in the Discord was Colburn. He was their starter last year. Guess not their starter this year. It was like, I think over 39.5 was the line. And he looked like the better running back, but when you're splitting carries, it's just tough. It's just tough to pick up those yards. They scored 26, gave up 12. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Stallions scored 11 and gave up 18. So what does that tell me? I know life is too short, and overs only is the only thing that I truly care about, and I love an over. But last year, 2 weeks in a row, the unders went 8-0. So I'm going to take the under here today. Under 38 It's on DraftKings. Seems like the best play out there on the board, in my opinion. I think both of these defenses are good. If that offensive line for the Stallions are as bad as they looked last week, I don't really see where the points come from for the Stallions. Now, even if they aren't as bad, the Panthers are known for their defense, and I trust that this is going to stay under. As you see, I have 38.5 here. That's what it was yesterday when I did this. It's now 38. The highest you can find is at DraftKings at 38. Everywhere else is at 37.5. So grab it at that 38, that key number, that key football number, and if it lands on 38, okay, we push. No big deal. 37.5, it lands on 38, it's a loser. Just go to DraftKings, put it in there. All right. Next up, I love Alex Mabu's rushing yards. 39.5 on DraftKings. Again, if the offense line is as bad as it looked last week, no brainer here. Athletic quarterback, can pick it up with his legs, can extend plays. I love it here. Over 39.5. Again, I said if you really want to take a side, take the Stallions +1. Half a unit on that, though. And the reason why I do like the Stallions is because these teams played 3 times last year. All 3 times, Stallions beat them. Now, different quarterback at the helm, right? It was Adrian Martinez, now it's Alex Magoo. Doesn't matter. I trust Skip Holtz to get to, work out whatever issues there was on tape and figure out what was going on with them not picking up the blitzes. It was like backside blitzes, and they're not picking them up. So I don't know who that responsibility falls on for this team, whether it's Magoo or it's the offensive line to be calling it out and making shifts. Doesn't matter. I trust Skip Holtz to see it and figure it out. And they were in this game the entire time last week, and they just could not pull it out. So for a touchdown, I would sprinkle Jay Sternberger. 0 receptions last week. I'm looking for him to get involved here. He's a major part of what they do. He's not a big receptions guy. He's not going to have 10 receptions, but he's a quality versus quantity type of guy. So I trust that he's going to get involved this game. So at plus 250 for the type of guy that he is, and the connection that him and Magoo had 2 years ago. Let's light that fire up again. Let's light that up. All right, next we're going to move to the game 2, 8 p.m. tomorrow. Once again, they love competing with other major sports. They just don't seem to understand that there's going to be a Final Four on. But you know what? Screw it. Doesn't matter, I guess. Memphis Showboats at DC Defenders at 8 p.m. Memphis, they're just a bad team. They're auto fade right now. You have to. I think you have to. They were just bad, but they did keep it close up until the pick 6 last week up against the Panthers. I don't want to say close, but they had an opportunity to cover. QB split time again between E.J. Perry and Troy Williams. Neither of them stood out. Both of them threw interceptions, though, so they did stand out in that sense. Running back split time between Deneric Price and Jalen Jackson. And Prince got one last carry, but did have 14 more yards. So Prince had the more explosive of the plays. And then Jonathan Adams was the best receiver option with 6 receptions on 7 targets for 93 yards and a touchdown. They only scored 12 points, though. Only scored 12. They let 26 get on them, though. So, yeah, they're just bad. So it's automatic fade for me. They're playing D.C. I don't know what to think about them. Did we just see a bad Birmingham, have a bad week? Or is D.C. really that team right now? I don't know. Jordan Ta'amu looked good. He looked poised the entire game. He threw 1 interception in the first half, and then the entire second half looked fantastic. That defensive line looked really good. 8 sacks. What are they going to do to Memphis? I mean, I don't know. This could be close to double digits. I don't know. It could be really bad. Ty Scott was the leading receiver, 5 receptions, 61 yards. Deion Jackson had 10 rushes for 42 yards. Again, these rushers, they stay in the 40s, which is why those lines, they look so intriguing when you see a running back with 39.5 yards. Hard to stay away from, honestly. But just stay away from it. Stay away from it. We got burned last week. Don't go too heavy. Try and follow the trends that you see on guys that are being used. The most important thing is that Ty Scott had 10 targets. So he had 5 receptions, 61 yards, but he was targeted 10 times. So there's only one place to go here. You know where we're going. We're going under 37. I don't see where the Showboats score from. The DC Defenders, even though they beat the Stallions, they had a lot of mistakes. Had the Stallions been ready and maybe didn't take them so lightly, I think that they would have won that game just because defenders didn't look that good. Defensively, they looked good. So I don't see where Showboats score from. So I'm going to go with under 37. Then I'm going to take Ty Scott over 47.5 receiving yards, all right? With him getting 10 looks last week, with 5 receptions, 61 yards, if that is the same game plan with Memphis being as bad as they are, this could be a one-play situation, all right? Over 47.5 yards. The DC defenders, I hate that it's minus 7.5 right now. If this was 6.5 or 7, I'd take it. But at 7.5, I mean, they do go for 2 points and 3-point conversions, which is also just, I kind of almost forget it every year. And then you get in the game, and you're like, okay, we're covering. And you're like, oh, shit, wait a minute. This team can go for a 3-point conversion and then a 4th and 12 instead of an onside kick. Yeah, just one of those things. But I would lean DC defenders minus 7.5 based on last week. I would wait to see if that line moves at all. Personally, if you're going to take it, again, I'd be 0.5. But I'm going to personally be looking for a live bet there. Hopefully, the goal, the hope would be that Showboats come out, have a fantastic first drive somehow, and we're able to grab DC defenders at like minus 3.5. Grabbing that for sure. And then I'm going to take Jonathan Adams, over 39.5 receiving yards. Once again, he had 6 receptions, targeted 7 times, and had 93 yards and a touchdown. So for him to just be at 40, yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking that. All right. And last week also, let me put this up here. Last week, we had that parlay that I put together here on the show. We just missed by the Stallions by a 7.5. Disgusting. It's like plus 1,100. So I'll build one again. Make sure you guys stay here till the end of the show. I'll put that together, and we will put together a little parlay, weekend parlay. All right, next up, we got the Houston Roughnecks, plus 10 at the Arlington Renegades. The over-under is set at 39. And this is a game I'm excited to see. The Roughnecks lost their home opener to the Battlehawks. Really good team. They gave up 31, and they only scored once, 31-6. Anthony Brown was the starter for the Roughnecks and was benched after going 5-11. He threw the ball for 21 yards and 2 interceptions. Noah Henderson replaced him. While he wasn't that good through the air, the kid can run. So, I think if he starts, which hopefully they'll put out some information tomorrow. If he starts, it's going to be hard for me to just like stay away from his rushing yards. He was the leading rusher at 54 yards, 2 running backs combined for a total of 20. Disgusting. Defense gave up 31, 460 total yards, 187 through the air, and 273 on the ground. I mean, that's Madden numbers. This is video game stuff. It's video game stuff. Arlington looked good. Luis Perez looked fantastic, the king of the spring. But the run game was the difference maker. I mean, Balaj and Day Hunter put up like 200 and some on their own. Sal Cannella hurt us again. We needed his 2 yards. Couldn't pick it up for us, but it's okay. He's going to get us this week. I know he's going to get us this week. I trust it. All right. 33 points they put up, allowed 6 against. Just Arlington, they're just a good team right now. I really like what I saw from the Renegades. It's the biggest number on the weekend at minus 10, and we're taking it. You can take us up to 14 if you needed to, I believe. You're not going to have to. It won't get that high, but don't shy away from a 10.5. But if you can grab it at 10, take that. Take that. We're going to go under 39. I don't know where the Roughnecks will score from. I don't know how they score. Their quarterback room is an absolute mess. The running backs can't run. I trust the Renegades to win this game. I don't know. Got to remember this 2-point conversion. I don't know, 31-6, something like that. It's going to be. It should be no problem. And again, I'm diving back in on Sal Cannella, over 37.5 receiving yards, and a Sal touchdown. Both of those burned us last week, but we're definitely going to get the yards. So you go 0.5 on the touchdown, full 1.1 to return the 1 unit on Cannella receiving yards. And that way, if he doesn't score a touchdown, We'll still end up +5 on the player props there. And we finally move to the final game of the weekend. Brahmas versus Battlehawks. All right. San Antonio Brahmas +7 at St. Louis, which is going to be packed. This place always fills out the stadium. Over under 39.5. This is going to be the first game that I am saying Overs Club members only. Put it in, take it. We're going over. All right, we're going over. San Antonio handled Arlington no problem last week. They were dismantled last week, and they lost 33-6. Kellen Mond didn't look terrible, but he didn't really jump off the screen for a guy that has played in the NFL. He didn't really pop off the screen for me. He went 17-31, 159 yards. He didn't throw a pick, but no touchdowns either. Corbin, McFarland, Lovett were probably the highlight for them running the ball. And Jacob Harris had 4 receptions with 63 yards on 6 targets. And Kirkland and Ward also had 4 receptions. So Kellen Mond, when they had to throw the ball, they did. But it just got too out of hand. All right. Next, Battlehawks. They look like the best team in the league, in my opinion. Basing off of week 1. Put up 460 total yards like we just talked about on the last one. Manny Wilkins, 189 yards, 43 rush yards, 2 touchdowns. Jacob Sailors and Jarvion Howard literally were able to do whatever they want, over 200 yards. And Ja'Cour Pearson led the team in receptions and yards with 83 on 6 receptions and had 55 yards after the catch. I mean, come on. But Sailors is also a weapon in the passing game. 4 receptions, 47 yards. Hakeem Butler held to 0. I would have put money on him. I would have. But I didn't. I'm glad I didn't because it would have been extremely frustrating to witness Offensive Player of the Year from 2024 get 0 receptions. Crazy work there. But this is the UFL, and that's kind of what happens here. So, all right, let's go over these. Then we can build the parlay. All right, so for the game tonight, we're going to go under 38.5. Now, unless it's specified otherwise, I'm doing everything for 1 unit, right, to return me 1 unit. So under 38.5 is -110 on DraftKings. So I'm putting 1.1 units to return me 1 unit, unless it's otherwise stated, okay? So tonight I'm going to have a total of 3 units out, okay? If you were to follow this, we're going to take Stallions versus Panthers, the game under. Make sure you grab it on DraftKings. Everywhere else is 37.5. Alex Magoo over 39.5 rush yards. Stallions +1. And Jay Sternberger, anytime touchdown, +250. Tomorrow's game, Showboats versus DC Defenders. These numbers were pulled from ESPN. We're going to go under 37. Ty Scott over 47.5 receiving yards. The DC Defenders -7.5. I still don't know. I don't know about that. But Showboats look bad. Let's just hope the DC Defenders continue to play the way they did last week. And I think that'll be a decent bet. And then Jonathan Adams, over 39.5 receiving yards, blew that number out of the water last week. We move to Sunday. Renegades versus Roughnecks. Renegades -10. Yeah, that's my favorite play for that game. Under 39. I wish they would give me team totals because I would hammer the Renegades team total. We're going to go with Sal Cannell again. He passed this number last week. I think the reason why it's dropped is because they think that this is going to be a blowout and they won't have to throw the ball that much. Last week on the first drive, he had 2 receptions for like 28 yards. So he's just going to need 1 more after that if it continues that way. Cannell for a touchdown, +210. This is on ESPN. And then Brahmas versus Battlehawks. They don't have the touchdowns up for this yet, so I have not available there. But I love Jacob Sailors for a touchdown. I love Manny Wilkins. He had 2 last week where he's able running the ball. I don't know what I would imagine Jacob Sailors is probably going to be somewhere around like -130 to score a touchdown, maybe even a little bit more. Manny Wilkins will probably be at +100 just because of him being a running quarterback. Wait for those numbers to come out if you feel comfortable with it. I always say anything -150 or anything over -150 is too much for me. I won't put anything more than 1.5 on a bet like that to return me 1 unit. Battlehawks -7. Brahmas are not good. Battlehawks look fantastic. I love it right there at 7. Key number for football. And we are going over here. Over 39. And we're going to take up Jacob Saylor's over 47.5 rush yards. He looked great last week. I expect him to look great again. All right, so those are the plays for the weekend. And real quick, we'll just build this parlay together. Let me just pull up DraftKings here on my phone. We're obviously going to take Alex Magoo as the first play. Alex Magoo rushing yards. I'm going to throw player props in there. So Alex Magoo rushing yards. Player props. Over 39.5. Then Memphis Showboats versus DC Defenders. Let's go under 37. Actually, yeah, let's go under 37. Man, I hate that it's at the number 37. That stinks. But, all right, that's what we're going to do. Showboats. Roughnecks versus Arlington Renegades. We're going to take Renegades -10. And San Antonio Brahmas versus the St. Louis Battlehawks. So we're going to go over 39.5. That parlay is 1173 on DraftKings. I'm putting 0.25 units on it to return me 2.65 units. All right. So again, that is Alex Magoo over 39.5 rushing yards. That game is tonight. Under 37 for the Showboats Defenders tomorrow. Arlington Renegades -10. And over 39.5 for the Brahmas and Battlehawks. That is the week 2 bets. Let me put this back up here again in case you guys don't have it. I appreciate you guys. 820 people stopped to watch it. Obviously, that's not everyone that's watching it right now, but thank you. I promise that there is value in this, and the more that we get into this season, the better off it's going to be, especially with player props and everything else. We stand to make a lot of money in this league because not a lot of people want to bet it. Last year, Jordan and I did this league together. We absolutely crushed it. Like every single week was just money. It was basically a part-time job if you needed one. This can make you money. Trust me. Don't go too crazy. They offer a lot of props, but not a lot of yards to go around. So that is it for the week 2 bets. I appreciate you guys. So just make sure that if you aren't part of it, make sure you guys, again, Trophies Discord. The guys are killing it in baseball right now. I am not a big baseball guy, as you guys can see. Ty, the football guy, that is my name. I love football. We get football. We have football. This football's on tonight. So I will see you guys next week for week 3 of the UFL. We're up plus 1.45 units. Let's crush this weekend. Let's get up to 5 units. I think 5 units is good week 2, and then let's make it 10 by week 3. All right? Appreciate you guys for hanging out, and I will see you guys next weekend. See ya.